Jane and Dan aren't overweight.
Are Jane and Anne overweight? Are Jane
and Dan overweight?
Jane and Dan
No,
overweight?
Jane and Dan aren't overweight. They're slim.
Are they slim?
Are they slim? Yes, they're slim. They used to be overweight.
Did they used to be overweight?
Did they used to be overweight? Yes, they used to be overweight.
Who used to be overweight?
Who used to be overweight? Well, it's Jane and Dan. Jane and Dan used to be overweight. Two years ago, Jane was overweight.
2 years ago, was Jane overweight?
2 years ago, was Jane overweight? Yes, that's correct. Jane was overweight.
How overweight was Jane?
How overweight was Jane? Well, Jane was very overweight. 2 years ago, Anne was also overweight.
2 years ago, was Anne also overweight?
2 years ago, was Anne also overweight? Yes, Anne was also overweight.
How overweight was Anne?
How overweight was Anne? Well, Anne was a little overweight. 2 years ago, Jane and Anne weren't slim.
2 years ago, were Jane and Anne slim?
2 years ago, were Jane and Dan slim?
2 years ago, were
No,
Jane and
they
Dan
weren't slim. They were actually overweight.
They were actually overweight.
How overweight were they?
How overweight were
Jane
they?
was very overweight, and Anne was a little overweight. Now, you're going to ask questions about Kate and her brother Tom. When Kate and Tom were little, they thought Santa Claus was real.
Did they think Santa Claus were real?
When Kate and Tom were little,
did
they think Santa Claus was real? Yes, they thought Santa Claus was real when they were little. They didn't think Superman was real.
Did they think Superman was real?
Did they think Superman was real? No, they didn't think Superman was real. They didn't think that man was real.
Did they think Batman was real?
Did they think that man was real? No, they didn't think that man was real. They thought someone else was real.
Who did they think was real?
Who did they think was real?
Who did they think was
they thought
real?
Santa Claus was real.
Why did they think Santa Claus was real?
Why did they think Santa Claus was real? Well, it's because their mother had told them once that Santa Claus was real, and they believed her. They used to believe that Santa Claus was real.
Did they used to believe Santa Claus was real?
Did they used to believe that Santa Claus was real? Yes, that's what they used to believe. When Tom was a boy, he had a friend named Nick.
When Tom was a boy, did he have a
When
friend
Tom was
named
a
Nick?
boy, did he have a friend named Nick? Yes, that's correct. He had a friend named Nick when he was a boy. One day, Nick told him something surprising.
Did Nick tell him something surprising one day?
Did Nick tell him something surprising one day? Yes, Nick told him something surprising one day.
What did Nick tell him?
What did Nick tell him? Well, Nick told him that Santa wasn't real.
Did Nick tell him that Santa Claus
Did
wasn't
Nick tell
real?
him that Santa wasn't real? Yes, that's what Nick told him. When Tom realized that Santa wasn't real, he was surprised and sad.
When Tom realized the Santa Claus wasn't real, was he surprised
When
and sad?
Tom realized that
At the
Santa
same
wasn't
time?
real, was he surprised and sad? Yes, he was surprised and sad. He didn't feel angry.
Did he feel angry?
Did he feel angry? No, that's not how he felt. He didn't feel angry.
How did he feel?
How did he feel? Well, he felt surprised and sad.
Why did he feel surprised and sad?
Why did he feel surprised and sad? Well, it's because before Nick told him the truth, he truly believed that Santa was real, and he loved Santa very much. When Tom got home, he did something he didn't want to do.
When Tom got home, what did Tom do?
What did Tom do when he got home? Well, he told Kate that Santa didn't actually exist.
Did he tell Kate that Santa didn't actually exist?
Did he tell Kate that Santa didn't actually exist? Yes, that's what he told her. He didn't tell Kate that the parents were sick.
Did he tell Kate that their parents were sick?
Did he tell Kate that the parents were sick? No, that's not what he told her. He told her something else.
What did he tell her?
What did he tell her? Well, he told her that Santa didn't actually exist. When Kate realized that Santa didn't exist, she cried.
When Kate realized that Santa Claus didn't exist, did she cry?
When Kate realized that Santa didn't exist, did she cry? Yes, that's what happened when she realized that Santa didn't exist. She didn't cry for just a few minutes.
Did she cry for just a few minutes? Did she cry for just a few minutes?
No,
Did
she didn't cry for just a few minutes. She cried much longer than that.
How long did she cry?
How long did she cry? Well, she cried for almost an hour.
Why did she cry for almost an hour?
Why did she cry for almost an hour? Well, it's because she has learned that Santa didn't actually exist. Now, you're going to ask questions about two sisters named Grace and Emma. Grace and Emma have pets.
Do Grace and Emma have pets?
Do Grace and Emma have pets? Yes, they have pets. Their pets aren't dogs.
Are their pets dogs?
Are their pets dogs? No, their pets aren't dogs. Their pets aren't cats.
Are their pets cats?
Are their pets cats? No, their pets aren't cats.
What kind of animals are their pets?
What kind of animals are their pets? Well, their pets are spiders. They think their spiders are cute.
Do they think their spiders are cute?
Do they think their spiders are cute? Yes, they think their spiders are cute. They aren't afraid of their spiders.
Are they afraid of spiders?
Are they afraid of their spiders? No, they aren't afraid of their spiders. When they were young, they were afraid of spiders.
When they were young, were they afraid of spiders?
When they were young, were they afraid of spiders? Yes, they were afraid of spiders when they were young. They weren't afraid of birds.
Were they afraid of birds?
Were they afraid of birds? No, they weren't afraid of birds. They were afraid of something else.
What were they afraid of?
What were they afraid of? Well, they were afraid of spiders. When they were young, they didn't think spiders were cute.
When they were young, did they think spiders were cute?
When they were young, did they think spiders were cute? No, that's not true. They didn't think spiders was cute.
What did they think about spiders when they
What
were
did they
young?
think about spiders? Well, they thought spiders were really scary. They didn't think spiders were interesting.
Were they think the spiders interesting?
Did they think spiders were interesting?
Did
No,
they think
they didn't think spiders were interesting.
What did they think about spiders?
What did they think about spiders? Well, they thought spiders were really scary.
Who thought the
Who
spiders
thought
were
spider
really
was
scary?
very scary? Well, it were Grace and Emma who thought spiders were really scary. One day, Grace and Emma watched the cartoon.
Did Grace and Emma watch the
Did
cartoon
Grace
one
and
day?
Emma watch the cartoon one day? Yes, they watched the cartoon one day. The cartoon wasn't about dogs.
Was the cartoon about dogs?
Was the cartoon about dogs? No, the cartoon wasn't about dogs. The cartoon wasn't about cats.
Was the cartoon about cats?
Was the cartoon about cats? No, it wasn't. The cartoon was about something else.
What was the cartoon about?
What was the cartoon about? Well, the cartoon was about spiders. The cartoon was funny.
Was the cartoon funny?
Was the cartoon funny? Yes, the cartoon was funny.
How was the cartoon? How funny was the cartoon?
How funny was the cartoon? Well, it was very funny. The spiders in the cartoon weren't scary.
Was the spiders in the cartoon scary?
Were the spiders in the cartoon scary? No, they weren't scary at all. The spiders in the cartoon were cute.
Was the spiders in the cartoon cute?
Were the spiders in the cartoon cute? Yes, they were cute. Before they watched the cartoon, they were afraid of spiders.
Before they watched the cartoon, were they afraid of spiders?
Before they watched the cartoon, were they afraid of spiders? Yes, that's correct. Before they watched the cartoon, they were afraid of spiders. After they watched the cartoon, something interesting happened.
After they watched the cartoon, what happened?
What happened after they watched the cartoon?
What happened after they
No,
watched the cartoon?
after they watched the cartoon, their fear of spiders was completely gone. After they watched the cartoon, they weren't afraid of spiders anymore.
Were they afraid of spiders after they watched the cartoon?
After they watched the cartoon, were they still afraid of spiders?
After they watched the
No,
cartoon, were
they
they
weren't.
still afraid of
After
spiders?
they watched the cartoon, they weren't afraid of spiders anymore.